Your comfort zone, such a safe, cozy place to be all the time. And it can be scary to step out of it. But if you don't, you're missing out big time. There's a lot of advantages from stepping out of that zone. I'm joined by Ginny Campbell from Coaching with Ginny. Ginny, when did you discover the advantages of stepping out of your comfort zone?
Thanks, Craig. Well, I actually discovered this as a young woman, and I was in my late teens, and I had incredible clarity on what I wanted to do with my life, and I went about to get it. And that required me to step out of my comfort zone and reach out to people that I didn't know and present myself and a case for why they would want to hire me and how I was going to make, have impact with their organization. So I clued into that early on. Then in my 30s and 40s, I lost track of that because I was caught up in just the whirlwind of life and being an adult and a lot going on.
Yeah, you had a responsible job. You were good at it.
Yeah.
That's a confidence builder. And you don't have much time to step out of your zone. And once you get in a position of authority and skill level, doesn't seem like there's much of a need of it. So what did you do?
So I was working with a small boutique company, a television company here in Toronto. And as a group, we decided to take on a fundraiser, a road cycling fundraiser. I'd never ridden a road bike in my life. The idea of clipping into the pedal and not being able to put my feet down. I had to train for every weekend. It was an incredible commitment of time, energy, and money. But here's where it was. This is the golden moment of leaving your comfort zone. We were finishing the second day of our ride, coming up to the finish line here just north of Toronto in King City. And we had these hills to deal with. And at that point, I was with 2 or 3 other cyclists from our team, and we were on top of the hill. We had to go down and get up the next hill. And I knew that the only way I was going to get up the next hill was to let go of my brakes. And that was to let go of everything and leave my comfort zone and let it be and let the universe take care of me. I let go of my brakes and I screamed the entire way. I was going over 80 kilometers an hour. And I am proud to say I got up the other hill. So that is an illustration that I share all the time because it was terrifying and everyone can relate to that. However, crossing that finish line and acknowledging that I had stretched and had grown so much and had learned so much about myself in the 6 months of training and then the 2-day cycling event, it was phenomenal. I was on cloud 9 for a week.
I have a very similar experience to that one. In 2010, my older brother Jim, a big achiever, sent me this notice about this adventure race called Tough Mudder. Sent it to my brother and me. And we'd never heard of it at the time. They're popular now. It was only the third one they'd ever held. And it involved running through fire and jumping into a freezing lake in November and swimming across it. And it looked insane. And so, of course, I said I'm in. And my younger brother said he was in, and my cousin Lou and his nephew and my friend Larry, we all did that. And my dad was mad at us he thought we were going to get hypothermia and maybe die. So we were terrified, especially of jumping off that platform into the lake and swimming across it. All of us were terrified of that. It was the third event. It was about 15 minutes in. And when you jumped off the platform and you hit that water, it sucked the life out of you. It was like getting punched in the stomach, right? And you came up shivering. We had to swim 50 yards across the lake and then go under these barrels. And when we got out, it was like, wow, I'm not dead. And when we finished that race, my dad was at it and he felt better after he'd seen it. But honest to God, Ginny, I was a different person after that race. And it was like, um, I think I can do anything now.
Yes, and that's the thing. And I think back, when I am presented with another opportunity to stretch and grow and push the outer limits of my comfort zone or safety zone. Comfort zone is probably the better term. I go, okay, well, Jen, you let go of your brakes. Like, that's huge for someone who doesn't like speed and all those sorts of things and likes to be in control of how I'm riding my bike. So I celebrate that. I go, okay, if I could do that, I know I can, share content on the internet and tell my story. And I know that I can help others because the payoff, it's incredible. For example, I had a client who took up painting. She hadn't painted since she was a little kid. And with all these classes and they're the paint lounges, and she just started painting. And it was a time for her where she was painting. She didn't think about anything else. She just enjoyed the experience, the tactile experience and the colors and chit-chatting with other people. And it was incredible. And now she's taking more and more advanced courses. There's opportunity. It increases your self-confidence. You can have a good laugh while you're doing it. Going to dance classes. I remember, Craig, you were telling me about your line dancing at lunch. Like,
Yeah,
you just
I just got to
go
tell, I have to explain that story.
and just
Uh,
play.
yeah, and one of the worst times of my career, I used to go walk to lunch. And when I used to walk to the gym at lunch, and I walked by this restaurant, and above it, they had a sign that said, Thursdays at noon, line dancing, $10. So Thursdays at noon, I would leave. I wouldn't tell anyone where I was going. I would go to pay my $10 and I would do line dancing. No one knew I went. Nobody there knew me. And for an hour, I learned something new that engaged my brain and I was physically active. And I went back feeling good at a time when I didn't feel very good very often.
Right. And during that time, I bet you weren't consumed with your to-do list. You were
Uh,
in a different environment and just you took it all in.
yeah. So I think one of the themes here is, what's worse than being scared is never being scared.
Yes, and right now I'm at a moment in my coaching business where the angst of not doing something is so much more powerful than if I actually did what I want to do, which is to share more videos with my community. I just know that the payoff is there, and the angst of not doing it is not healthy, and it is I am stretching again my comfort zone and will take the tiny steps forward to get it done.
And now if people need a little help getting out of that comfort zone, because it's not easy. And the things we have said, because they're already done, they make them sound easy. But people can come to you for the coaching to get out of that comfort zone, try something new, and learn about their own possibilities. How do people reach you, Ginny?
Yeah, you can reach me by emailing me at Ginny@coachingwithginny.com, or check out my website, coachingwithginny.com, where I have a lot more information about what coaching is all about and how I coach and how I became my story as to why I became a coach. And with my clients, I get them to take on things that stretch them. And they start small. You got to start small and build that muscle again, right? Because you want to grow. You we don't want to be stagnant and in a rut, and we want to have the energy and the momentum and the desire to keep growing and evolving.
And to understand your own possibilities.
Yeah, and life is short, and we gotta seize it.
Well, Ginny can help you seize, carpe diem, seize that day, and you can reach her at coachingwithginny.com. Thanks, Ginny, for this conversation today. I hope it gets a lot of people to release the brake.
Thanks, Craig.